So, Doctor, what are you seeing on the ground there, including the types of injuries?
Well, you know, there's obviously a critical period that's happening right now, Fred. People who can still be saved, people who can still be rescued. We're outside of this 72-hour period. The rescuers here know that the likelihood of survival goes down after that, but there's still these rays of hope, as you mentioned. And, you know, Fred, being here, walking around some of these devastated villages, you start to really understand people's stories, who they were, what their lives were like. Take a look. We know the official death toll here in Nepal went up by at least one today. Neighbors watch from nearby windows, still clinging to hope. After all, this 4-month-old baby was rescued after more than 22 hours under the rubble, alive, with no apparent injuries. This man was buried for roughly 80 hours. Rescue workers administered oxygen and an IV drip while they spent 10 hours digging him out. There is hope everywhere you look, and there are reminders of the people who once lived and breathed in this tiny village. A child once happily sipping on this bottle or seeking comfort with this teddy bear pillow. A notebook, pictures of family, a pair of shoes. They were carpenters, mechanics, jewelry makers. And there are the survivors, old and young, and ridiculously cute. Just looking around this small little town outside Kathmandu, you get an idea of the type of people that lived here, the pride that they took in all things around them. This 5-story temple, built in the 17th century, stayed standing when so many of the surrounding buildings tumbled to the ground. These lovely smiling faces saw that as a blessing. Yes, a blessing, even while the earth shook from its core. Last Saturday, at 11:56 a.m., a woman shouted out from her 2nd-story window to alert everyone else to the initial tremor. But then, she didn't make it out herself. She died trying to save others. They've already been able to identify the person, this woman. She's 45 years old. They showed us this ID card. Her name is Pyarshwari. She has two boys. They were able to survive, and now we know she has perished in this as well. It is such incredibly grim work. Can you tell me what kind of person she was? How would you describe her? She was a very good person, he told me. She was a mother, and she was my friend. It is clear, Punyashwari won't soon be forgotten. Yes, the death toll went up by one more today, but Punyashwari is not just a number. She will be remembered, along with hundreds more souls who are still being recovered from this ancient city. Because the reminders are everywhere, growing stronger, like the flowers among the rubble. There are so many stories here, Fred, and we focus a lot on the numbers. People want to know the numbers, but every single person has a story, and people are so lovely, and people people coming up to us and telling us about the people who had passed away and wanting us to share their stories, and that's what we're trying to do. In addition to providing you the larger context of what has happened here, remind you who the people were that passed away in this earthquake as well, Fred.
Gosh. And then, Sanjay, for the survivors, like that month-old baby, is there enough food and water? What kind of sustenance is there to make sure the survivors can make it through this hardship?
The best way I would characterize this, Fred, is that there has been a lot of aid that has started to come into the country. Every commercial flight even that's come in, the mandate is even if you're flying commercial, you have to have a certain percentage of your cargo be aid, be resources for the needy. But once it gets to Kathmandu and at that airport, the question of how it gets distributed within Kathmandu and especially to more remote areas outside is a challenge. It's a challenge on many levels. First of all, the roads, as you've seen, have been damaged. The airlift sometimes is spotty because actually the small helicopters sometimes can't fly in these weather conditions. And just communicating from one place to another, picking up the phone and saying, okay, we have these supplies, you need these supplies, where are you? those communications sometimes simply can't happen. So it's challenging. You got the aid getting here into the country is one thing. Distributing it is also a part of the challenge. It's still ongoing.
Right. And then, Sanjay, you talked about that 72-hour period. It's crucial. Usually most do not survive past that point. We saw the one man pulled from the rubble. We saw the months-old baby. How do you suppose that happened? What makes the difference between those who are able to survive, whether it be an air pocket, just how their body's positioned? What is it?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of that. People who find themselves in a void or an air pocket as opposed to having some sort of injury. Obviously, having some access to oxygen and water is really critical. And then, look, the will to live. We saw people, 16 patients come in off a helicopter yesterday who were past that 72-hour window. They were in pain, they were injured, but they were going to survive. So, who knows what that quality is, but we're seeing a lot of it out here, Fred.
Well, it's extraordinary. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, thank you so much from Kathmandu. A great reporting, and continue to bring us those images and powerful stories. Appreciate it.